and it's not that probate is necessary, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it takes time. There's costs. And then there's issues about how your beneficiaries receive assets too. Because generally, especially if you haven't done a will, they're going to receive all their assets in one lump sum. And so, for example, if you have a 19-year-old.
A governing body of men should not be allowed to tell women.
But that's how life has been, and it keeps going that way.
Weird.
It's always about that.
I know, but I realize that, even as a man, they look good in some of them shorts, some of those women, and I think that's what it is.
Well, maybe I'd like to see some thigh too, but the men don't wear any Speedos.
I think they should make the men wear the tightest
They should.
That way their nuts are so tight in there.
A lot of times what will happen is everybody is in front of a judge, and they may all look good on paper, but the judge doesn't know what you know about all those people in the room. Oh yeah, like Uncle Tommy who can't hold a job all the time, or Uncle Tommy who's mean, or something like that. Or so-and-so who looks great on paper, but you would never want raising your kids because
right.
Who's gonna raise them? How are they gonna raise them? And with kids in particular, the person who is good to raise them at 7 years old is not necessarily the person who should be raising them at 16. I'm sorry. I'm laughing because you said, you don't know who's taking care of your kids. I have a brother, and it made me think of I'm not going to say which one. But if my kids got left with him, he'd probably feed them bread and butter. He wouldn't give them bread and butter.
He knows who it is.
I'm talking about.
Hey guys, if it's crazy.
All right, go now.
Oh my God! Hey guys, welcome to the Family Mess. I'm Noah, and have a nice day. Good God!
I love the Family Mess.
Oh my God!
Welcome to the Family Mess Podcast. I'm your host, Ian, and this is my wife and co-host, Natalie. The Family Mess, the podcast about life with kids and all things adulting. Let's talk. Natalie, we're on set today. Not set, what's it called?
We're on the road, Ian.
We're on the road today recording our podcast. It's the first for us. And I am very happy to have our first guest. Can you introduce her? I'm not good at introductions.
We have Karina Della Torre of the Della Torre Law Office.
Karina, how are you doing?
I am great, and I am so excited to be spending some time with both of you guys again. Ian, you don't know how to act because you're out. He's not in his usual element, so now
I'm used to my TV, the computer screen. I'm like, I just can't do nothing, but we'll be fine. We'll make it work.
Yes,
today,
we will.
So let's keep going. Go ahead. Keep going.
What are we talking about today, Ian? I thought you were talking. Oh, you told me about the race today. Between when's the race, today or tomorrow?
Let's go talk about the current events. So Sha'Carri Richardson was the controversial athlete that was banned from the Olympics because of her marijuana use. Is going to be racing the Jamaicans that won the Olympics.
She got no chance.
Why does she?
I'm split, because I got the Jamaican side and I got the American side. I live here, but my family is Jamaican. But them Jamaicans are fast, dude. She ain't gonna have a chance because of the Jamaicans.
I don't think she's gonna win it. I think she's not gonna win.
It's like Bolt. Both of the they beat her other record in the Olympics.
Yeah, they beat both of them. I think beat her
unless they have a bad day.
Yeah, I don't. Unless they don't want to take it seriously, and I hear a lot of athletes when they run after the Olympics to another one don't take that event as seriously because there's no medals or anything. So they usually just run. Some run and take it seriously, some don't. So I think it depends what kind of mood they're in.
Well, we'll see how it goes.
But
you gonna put some wager? Who you on? Who you got money on?
Oh gosh, I don't know. The Elaine Thompson Hurrah.
So you basically got your money on the Jamaicans too.
Yeah, I do. I think the Jamaicans are going to win this one. I don't think but Google's been trying to put this controversy in
What's the controversy?
Oh, Sha'Carri's not going to race. Is she going to, pretty much she's going to beat the Jamaicans. You ain't going to beat the Jamaicans.
No,
I don't think you're going to beat
Sorry, Sha'Carri.
I mean, she's fast, but I don't know, man.
I want Sha'Carri to do well, but I just don't think she's going to beat the Jamaicans. No. But I'd love to see her prove me wrong.
I mean, if she proves me wrong, then...
All good. That's all good.
That's the way it is.
All right.
Prove me wrong now. Okay.
But I'm going for the Jamaicans.
But the second thing you want to talk about was the underwear in the Olympics?
No, I wasn't talking about underwear in the Olympics today. Oh. But okay, since you brought it up, I had no plans to talk about that. It wasn't even underwear, dude. It ain't about underwear.
What was it?
It was about women being made to wear uniforms that they don't want to wear because of the historical male-dominated governing body of sports.
Correct.
That's what it's about. So yes, there was a team from Sweden in the Olympics that as a team, they chose not to wear the bikini bottoms. And I played volleyball in high school, and I hated those bikini bottoms. I felt so naked. Instead of being able to wear biker shorts. So as a team, a collective, they all chose to wear biker shorts instead of these bikini bottoms, these little, not everybody want to wear, even if you're skinny, you don't always want to be exposed. So they chose as a team to wear the biker shorts, and they got fined. And a couple of people, I forgot who, but someone paid the fine for them. But the whole point is, as a team, they weren't mismatched in their uniforms. They were still wearing, shorts. And the worst part is, men actually wear shorts for their uniforms. Men do not wear Speedos. So I had deep issue with that whole thing. From my past trauma in high school, having to wear those bikini bottoms. And then 2, realizing that men don't have to wear the same thing. Now, if they had men in Speedos, I would have no problem.
They do have men in Speedos.
Not playing volleyball or handball.
They should, though.
But they don't. They don't have them. Or it was like a beach volleyball type sport.
Their nuts hanging out. That's kind of weird.
Okay.
Sorry.
So women's vajayjays, y'all talk about camel toes and all that, right? You're exposing the camel toe because you have to wear this outfit. And then when women have their periods every month, you got to be all, it's a whole lot going on that these men who dictate don't know.
That's what I have to admit. I'm guilty of this.
Of course.
And I think that's why they show the Olympics. The Olympics is highly sexualized. But I've been so ingrained with seeing that even from a little boy growing up that when you see the women or whatever, it's just normal. You see them wearing it and you don't think nothing else. You don't think cover up just because you've grown seeing these images for
we need to deprogram men about women's bodies.
But you're right. Now that I'm an adult and I see the women, I'm like, oh, you know what? The women should have a choice of what they wear. Like a governing body of men should not be allowed to tell women.
But that's how life has been, and it keeps going that way. Weird. It's always about that.
I know, but I realize that. I mean, even as a man, they look good in some of them shorts. Some of those women, and I think that's what it is.
Well, maybe I'd like to see some thigh too, but the men don't wear any Speedos.
I think they should make the men wear the tightest.
They should.
That way their nuts are so tight in there. You can see the sweat.
Okay, thanks, Ian. now you're going all extra.
But think about it. If they did that, we'll see what the ratings do.
But the thing is, the men would be so upset, and they would not do that to other men because they are the governing body.
I think
it's from gymnastics to volleyball. I mean, even the gymnasts now are wearing full body instead. Some of them are wearing full body leotards instead of wearing the skinny things because it's a lot. And you're exposed. And a lot of these girls are young girls. Yeah. Even in high school, young girls being made sexual objects. That's what happens. You shouldn't, but I'm sorry. Some of y'all men are a little dirty, and it becomes a sexual thing.
You begin to view them as objects. That's the problem is you dehumanize them, and that's really the problem in all this is that, and the women never get a chance to be viewed as women, like human beings.
No, as athletes that they are, instead of looking at their booties.
And that's what it is. It's about. I told you everything.
And they have to wear. They can't even wear a full length top. They have to wear a bra top. With their stomach all out. What if you don't like that?
Yeah, I think that needs to change. I think they need to allow women to wear
and then that even
comfortable with.
Yeah, and that even limits the sports globally because not every country allows their women to wear and dress like that.
Correct.
See, this is a whole thing. But anyway, we can move on. Right. But let's talk to Karina today.
Yes. Hey, Karina.
Hello, guys. Karina's like, I'm going to let them talk their craziness. I'm like, I'll wait for my...
I'm with you on all of that. I truly am. I thought it was good to see a lot of the female athletes. I think there was a German gymnastics team that went ahead and did the long length leotards, and I thought, good for them. I mean, I think it's a good conversation to have. So,
yes.
I'm glad you guys had it too.
Well, what about the Jamaicans versus Sha'Carri versus the Jamaicans?
Listen.
I'm going to go Sha'Carri.
All right, there you go.
Listen.
That's good. We need some difference in the room.
I was going to say, it's not really a bet if you're both on the same side.
So I didn't think he would be. So I was like, oh.
Well, the thing is, like I said, I hope she does win. That'd be great to see. I want to see it. I think all of America wants to see it. Also,
I do. I'd love to see that.
I mean, but they always need some type of controversy in sports. Yes. They do. They need it to get more hits, especially for this COVID era. They need more people to click on the button and watch. So that happens. What's the date today?
I don't know.
The 20th?
20th of August.
Yeah, it happens today.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, Karina, we're glad that you're here. You're another one of our guests. Everyone that typically we have on our show is someone that we know in person or we've known for a long time. And I met Karina, now it's about a year and a half, almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years ago.
Yeah, at an event, at a real estate event.
It was.
And usually I don't talk to people, but somehow we end up talking. I don't know. And so we ended up talking to Karina to do our will and trust? What did we do?
We did your estate planning. So we did a will and a trust for you.
Our estate planning. Yes, our estate. So we figured it would be great to have Karina in today to talk about, why it's important to do that. I mean, our kids are 15 and 11 and we're just now putting something on paper. Anything could have happened to us all these years and our kids would, we wouldn't have anything on paper, that says what's supposed to happen to them and what money we have and all those things. So, I was really glad to be able to meet you and then just decided to go ahead and move forward and do that. So can you tell us a little bit about what you do at your law firm?
Absolutely. And it has just been such a pleasure working with you guys. You guys are some of my favorite clients and I'm just really excited to have a chance to just kind of talk with you guys in a relaxed environment and have fun. So yes, my name is Karina Della Torre. I am an attorney. I've been practicing law for 17 years. I am licensed in 2 states. So I'm licensed in Indiana and Florida. I started my practice at a large law firm in Indiana. It was like a 150 attorney law firm at the time.
That's a big one.
Mm-hmm. And, I really am loving my practice now and what I do. And I practice law with my sister. And so
I swear is your twin. Y'all look just alike. I swear, I thought you guys were. No, I don't think
me without the curly hair. That's what it would look like.
I thought they were twins for the longest. Yes, until she corrected me. She's like, "No, we're not twins." I thought they were twins. But
it makes you feel better. My dad can't even tell us apart over the phone. Wow. So it's that close. And so she and I practice law together. We've had our firm now for almost 11 years, and just really, really excited to be able to practice with my sister and serve the community. So it's been great.
That's a cool thing. I suppose you guys aren't like Della Torre and Della Torre.
We thought about it. We're like, okay, spelling it once is hard enough. Maybe we shouldn't put people through that.
And they're like, damn.
Well, we also, if you looked at our full names, the running joke is that if you did it under the Spanish conventions, it would sound like its own law firm. So my name would be Karina Maria de la Torre Bianchi de Llanes if you added my my married name. And we said, well, that just sounds like a law firm by itself. Maybe we'll just keep it simple. There's 2 of us. And we're both last name Della Torre. It works.
I get it. So one of the things I've always wondered, why is it so important to even get it? I've heard, and I've kind of just went ahead and did it because everyone kept telling me, but I'm like, I don't know how really important that is. Why is it such an important thing to do that?
Well, it's important because, among other things, if it's done correctly, the process of going through estate planning is going to leave you more financially and legally organized than probably you've ever been. And so in order to do that, you can't just do a will. You have to think about who are you trying to protect? What kind of assets do you have? Because they can be protected in different ways. And really importantly too, and most people don't think about this if they just do a will, it's if something were to happen to me, but I don't pass away, so I'm incapacitated in some way, who would I want making decisions for me if I can't do it for myself?
Oh, snap.
Who do I want running my finances, making my medical decisions?
You don't think about that till you mention that. Now that's scary.
It is. And so, the thing is that if you do nothing, the state of Florida or whatever state you're in, it has a plan for you. It has a set of default rules. You may or may not like them, and it won't keep your family out of court and out of conflict, but it's there. Now, as far as decision making and guardians and who can act on your behalf if you're not able to do it yourself, a lot of times what will happen is everybody is in front of a judge and they may all look good on paper, but the judge doesn't know what you know about all those people in the room.
Oh yeah, like Uncle Tommy who can't hold a job all the time, or Uncle Tommy who's mean, or something like that.
Or so-and-so who looks great on paper, but, you would never want raising your kids because they're secretly crazy,
Right.
And so they don't know that. And so some of this part of this process is to plan for that. So you have a set of documents that can speak for you when you can't do it yourself. And then also a good estate plan is you're gonna clue in the most important people around you so that they know what to do. And they know who to talk to, what to do, where to find things, so that it reduces this level of stress during what would already be a really difficult time. And so you're gonna benefit from it, but the real gift is to the ones that you love and you're trying to protect.
Okay. So what about how do you guys talk to people who are like, because I have a few people I've talked to and they're like, I don't want to talk about it. I can't talk about dying. Like they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to think about it. What do you like tell those people, or what is the way to get through to those people who are afraid and have that fear that if they talk about it, they're going to die like tomorrow, right?
Well, sometimes to put people at ease, I like to joke that it's like an umbrella, okay? If you carry it around, it's not going to rain, If you go ahead and do your estate plan, you're not going to need it. But, more seriously, it is something that everybody needs to think about because it's going to happen. It is one guarantee in life. And the thing is that the fact that we die gives our lives meaning and urgency. And you are here in this dimension, this physical space,
right,
for a very short time. And one of the reasons that I love what I do is that when I finish with a client, one of the things I want to remind them of is to squeeze every last drop out of that time that they have here. And to use the good china, wear the good jewelry, do the fun things, do the things that scare you.
I need to get some china to use, Ian.
I'm saying, pull it out.
I don't have any china. I need to get some china so I can use it.
That's expensive plate, right?
Yeah, that's what China. You know what China is? It ain't just the country. Yes, expensive plates, man.
I want to make sure I'm like, that's expensive plates, right?
So what I would tell somebody is that it's going to happen anyway.
Right.
It's going to happen. It can at least happen on your terms and give you peace of mind that you know that you're protected and the people that you love are protected. And to then give you that sense of urgency in your own life. And that if somebody walks away with that of, I don't want to waste any time because I don't have that much of it. Whatever it is, it's not enough. I can guarantee you, however long you live, you could live 120 years and it's still not going to be enough to really take advantage of everything that there is to do on this planet.
True.
And so I think it helps focus things.
You can say whatever you want.
My question's not crazy, but I was like, how do you deal with the clients that have love children?
Oh yeah, because she told you the story about that. Now you got.
Well, it's really.
I mean, because.
So okay, so what you're saying, people. So what you're saying is people come in, they're doing their will, but after they'll do their will and their trust with her, but then on the side they're like, hey, I got this kid.
Oh hell yeah.
My wife don't know, or my husband doesn't know I got this kid, but I need to put them in here. How am I getting? That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
One child that you got caught up with. Not one night.
Yeah. So okay, the most I can say about that is that when I represent a couple, each of them is a client. So, and I owe a duty, all the attorney duties, the fiduciary duties, to each of those clients. Now, I can represent them together as long as they're really on the same page about things and they're being honest and truthful with each other. And once they start, or once I know that they're withholding important information like that from the other, that's when I would realize, there's a conflict of interest here. I can't represent them.
Gotcha.
And the fairest thing for me would be to disengage from both clients at that point and say, you guys are going to need to work out your estate planning, with another attorney or with someone else.
That's smart. No, you're not on either side. Just
right.
Pull your way from something away from the other.
Have you to do that before a few times, or?
No, actually, I have never, man, knock on wood, I have never had the love child, like the surprise love child conversation with a client after the initial meeting. So,
Oh my gosh.
I'm waiting for that day, but I haven't had it yet.
Oh my god.
Oh, man, of course you want to know about the love child.
Listen, but that's life though. People be freaky, man, and you do stuff, and then the consequences are there's a kid somewhere. I mean, that happens more than you think. That's why I learned about that in my class in seminary. People have love childs and they don't talk about it, and they go on life, and the next thing you know, there's a child or an adult.
Where you see it more is in probate. So what estate planning is,
Okay, what's the probate?
okay, so estate planning and probate go hand in hand, but they're different. So estate planning is something you do before you pass away. And it's usually for things like, what would I want to have happen to my things, my assets? How do I want to protect, my family members? How do I want to protect myself if in the event of incapacity? Probate is a process that happens after you die that transfers your assets from you to your beneficiaries. And there's a bunch of steps and milestones that happen along the way. But eventually it's to go to your beneficiaries.
So wait, who are usually the beneficiaries? Like, who's that usually?
Well, I've told you that if you don't have a plan, the state of Florida has a plan for you, for example. The beneficiaries would be determined if there's no will and no trust, then the beneficiaries you would determine them based on the laws, what's called the law of intestacy, which basically says, for example, if you're married to the surviving spouse, if you're married, and you have children from a prior relationship, half to the surviving spouse, half to the kids, from the prior relationship. And then, if you married, your spouse predeceased you, but you have children, then it goes to your children. So it kind of follows the family tree. Okay. So it can go usually to the surviving spouse, and then it goes down to the kids, down to the grandkids, etc. And then if you run out of people down the line, you can go up the family tree and then out laterally to things like basically
laterally, like on the branches.
Yeah, you can go all the way out. Mm-hmm. I've had some cases where we went all the way down to really remote cousins, and if they had gone any further, if there had been any fewer people to take, it would have gone to the state of Florida.
What?
Yeah. And so
they went that far?
It did. Jeez. And so that's where you tend to find surprises.
You run out of you never think you run out of family members.
You can.
There are some people that don't have a lot of family at all. Their gene line is short.
I know your gene line's full.
Man, there ain't no doubt. There's no shortage of cousins.
There's a jillion kids everywhere
to check. I know, that's true.
Yours is God. Populate the whole country.
So then, so with the probate, so they go down the gene pool. Then what happens with the probate after they find people?
Mm-hmm. Well, and so sometimes you find surprise people from prior relationships, or sometimes you have to do what's called an heir search. And so you'll basically look, and you have to publish notice that somebody, this person passed away. And so sometimes as part of that, or in discussion with family members, you find information, and that leads you to turn over another rock and another rock and another rock, and surprise, there's a whole other branch of the family that nobody knew about, so it tends to come up, I would say, more in probate than, I have not had it come up in my estate planning. I have had it come up in probate.
Now, but I've heard, one thing I have heard is that probate costs a lot more money. They take out all your money. How does that work? So if I'm a person, I'm afraid of having to do a will and the thing. So I'm I don't know. I'll just die. Mm-hmm. So when I just die, how, if I'm this millionaire, what happens? Or even if I have a little bit of money, what happens? Mm-hmm. How much do they get?
Well, so in the state of Florida, there's everything that goes through probate, with the exception of a homestead property, is going to be counted towards, all of the value of that is going to be counted towards the estate value. And what the Florida legislature has decided is that there are two primary people that are doing all the heavy lifting in the probate. The first person is who they call the personal representative. And that is the person who is usually a family member. They're doing all the heavy lifting. They're protecting the property. They're gathering all the information. They're dealing with the family members. They're making sure the property is protected. And so they're the personal representative. That person, because it is a lot of work, and a probate can extend, 12 months easily in the state of Florida if it's a formal administration, and most of them are, unless it falls within like a really small exception for summary administration. It's a lot of work, and they're basically entitled to take 3%. So
that person assigned by the state assigns them?
The probate court will approve them and appoint them. So basically you'll look at the pool of available people, or there's a statute that says in this order we're going to find, these are the people who can serve in that role.
Oh, okay.
And then once you find a suitable candidate, they go in front of the probate court, and the probate judge kind of looks at the information that's in front of them, says, yep, okay, great, you're going to be the personal representative. We're going to empower you to make all the decisions that you need to make. So when they do that, and because it is a lot of work, there's a sliding scale of fees set by statute that is for reasonable, what they call reasonable compensation. And that's going to be 3% of the estate. And so if it was $1 million, hold on, I can't math right now.
This should be 3,000. 3% should be 3,000 something.
Of what? $1 million?
Of $1 million?
More than that.
Yeah, I think that would be.
Oh, then it's 30,000.
I think it's 30,000. That's what I was saying. So on an estate of $1 million, they would be able to take 30,000.
That's not bad.
It's a lot of work. I mean, it really is.
That's really not that bad if you consider what lawyers get paid.
Well, but that's not the lawyer.
Oh, that's
the personal representative.
That's whoever's assigned to the
And
case.
so then on top of that, there is in a formal administration, they need to have an attorney represent them. That's just
another fee.
So there's going to be another fee, 3%. So that's another $30,000. So then you're looking at $60,000. And that's assuming that it is a normal case where there's no surprises, there's nothing untoward, there's no litigation, there's no will contest, there's nothing unusual about it. That the simplest case, so that it would start there, and that is what the state of Florida considers reasonable compensation for that work. And so that's the cost. So the issues with probate and it's not that probate is necessary, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it takes time. There's costs. And then there's issues about how your beneficiaries receive assets too. Because generally, especially if you haven't done a will, they're going to receive all their assets in one lump sum. And so, for example, if you have a 19-year-old getting $1 million estate, they're going to get it all in one lump sum.
Jeez.
And so
they can go get a car and stuff.
Right. And so with estate planning, you can plan in advance and say, okay, they're going to need some more time to be able to make better decisions. We can do this through a testamentary trust, or we can do this through a trust, and kind of spread it out, let them get, a bit more, grow into, some maturity and how to handle money and how to make good decisions, and then give them the money in stages.
So like if you, so by going through a lawyer and you get your will or your trust done, how soon then does your whole, account or your, when your death, everything's, how fast is that can settle and compared to the probate?
Mm-hmm. Well, it depends. A lot of people think that just because they've done a will that they've avoided probate, right? Entirely. Some people think, I did a will, we don't have to go to probate. That's actually not true. So what happens with a will is that it gets taken to probate court. So if you do nothing, then you have the default plan from the state of Florida. If you want to have something different, you want a different result, then you need to do either a will or a trust. And the will gets taken to probate court. The probate judge is going to look at it and say, okay, yep, okay, meets all the standards. We're going to apply the terms of the will. And so they're going to apply the terms of the will to the entire probate estate that's going through probate. And at that rate, at least what your wishes are known, and they're being, they're going to be honored by the probate judge.
Okay.
And so you're not avoiding probate, you're going through it. But at least you're going through it on your terms, as opposed to, necessarily what the state of Florida has to say about it.
So they follow your terms when it has a will.
Mm-hmm.
They follow the terms of the will.
Mm-hmm.
So then what happens? So what's the difference with the trust then?
Mm-hmm. So with a trust, it is a private document that does not go through the probate system. So
you don't have to go to court to the judge with that.
correct. So the idea is it's more streamlined. It's to have a well-funded trust to make sure that everything went in there, everything was done correctly. You have a lot of control and a lot more options because there are so many different things that you can do with trusts that you can build in all sorts of protections for the people that you love and have it be essentially done in a private setting. And so you can structure how they're going to receive things. You can reward certain kinds of behavior. You can protect them from things like creditors or future ex-spouses, judgments.
Future spouses?
Future ex-spouses.
So is the trust like in the movies where, like Mortimer, we're meeting for the reading of the will? Is that?
I've never done a reading of the will.
So that's not something that happens.
Like
is that movies only?
I think it's movies. I think it's movies.
Everybody gets together. They go
Yeah.
read the will.
So no one does that.
I haven't had to do it. I think it's exceedingly rare.
You
I
have to
think
be
it's
like
exceedingly
super
rare.
rich to do that usually.
So my second cousin, I leave you my shoes.
So wait, if somebody wanted to do that, could they set that up with you?
Yeah,
to do that
absolutely.
And say, I want to have a reading of my will and bring everybody together.
Of course you would do that.
We can do a family meeting.
I want to have like a Mortimer moment.
As a joke, that is like, of course Natalie will do that. And we just-
Yeah, and then leave everybody like, I leave you my left shoe. To my favorite other cousin, I leave you my right shoe.
Of course you do that.
So you have to talk to each other and borrow them from one another in order to have a complete pair.
There you go. See, there you go. See, they can do that to feuding relatives.
Oh.
Okay, so I really thought that they had those readings of the, so that's very uncommon.
No.
It's
I can
uncommon.
tell that it's very movies. How they get us like that? They were thinking that's real.
I know, man. I'm thinking like you go read the thing. Okay.
And all the movies show the same thing too. I mean, that doesn't change. They show it.
Right.
No matter if it's a funny movie, a comedy, or a serious movie, there's always the scene with the will.
Well, yeah, and then they
Everybody
gets mad and
together,
yeah.
The mad people get up and pack up their stuff and get out because they didn't get the car or the money.
Yeah, well, there goes that. Oh, well. All right. But back to the trust. I want to make sure we get people the information, that's really important to them.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So with the trust, then you don't have to, it's all private.
Yes.
So wait, what's like the process? Like once someone dies and you how do they contact the lawyer to say, hey, this person died and, execute? Does someone have to know that they have you, or is it recorded in like the documents of the government somewhere? How does that work?
No, it's all private. And the idea is because the idea is that it's not final unless and until you pass away, right? So, so when somebody does their estate planning, they're free to change their mind. And in fact, estate planning is something that we really recommend gets revisited at a minimum every 3 years. So it's not something that you do once, you put it in a drawer and you forget about it. I've had now several really complicated probates because that's what happened. They did their estate planning, they put it away, they didn't look at it. And it was, by the time that it needed to be used, it was a mess.
Things have changed.
Everything had changed.
So every
Family members
three-
had changed. Assets had
Things have
changed.
changed significantly.
And things had changed to the point where it just created a mess.
So every 3 years, people should revisit that.
Yeah.
So, what do people say? Does it cost money every time you want to do that?
No, I mean, we always invite our clients, they are always welcome to call in every 3 years and say, hey, let's do a review. And we do that free of charge.
So do other lawyers make you pay for that?
I think that they shouldn't, but I believe most do.
Oh,
We want it.
You're cool then.
I think most people would charge for a review, but I know that we don't. We want people to do that because, especially your circumstances are always going to change. Okay,
Right.
The law is going to change, and we want to make sure that it stays up to date with the law, with your assets, and with your family. So. Yeah, the worst thing you could do is just put it in a box and forget about it.
So Ian, we need to put her on our calendar for like 3 years
Oh,
from
no,
now.
If you tell me to do it, I'm gonna
So we can-
You
we
ain't
can-
gonna remember nothing. What?
You still, I'm mad people can't see the look on my face right now. Seriously.
Yeah, we'll put her on the calendar. and do it
Gosh.
online.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
for sure. I wouldn't even have thought about that. Like seriously.
Yeah, because when you get caught up in your life, you don't even think about revisiting.
No, because it's like I thought you said it and forget it. It's like that.
Seven.
Yeah,
Nope, that's not a thing.
I had
That
no
is-
idea. Like I thought you were supposed to just get, you get this will, you keep the paperwork, and then when you die, then you're like, someone's like, hey, here's this will, and then they're like, hey,
think that's what you do. They actually think,
Right.
hey, once I sign this, I'm good. I already know what's going to happen. I don't have to do anything.
So basically it's a living document as long as you're alive.
It is. It is a living document, and it's important because, and there's life events. Sometimes, there's remarriage, there's new kids, there's,
Oh, wait, you mentioned, I'm sorry, cut you off, but you remember, like you mentioned being Cinderella.
Yes.
Right. So that's like, what is that?
So
she mentioned that earlier about being, not in the conversation here, but.
It's one of the reasons why especially if you have minor children, you really need to, I firmly believe that every person needs an estate plan. You need one that is right for you, but you need something. Okay. Now, if you have minor kids, you definitely need one. One, because a lot of people are laboring under the idea that I can just have everything go to my spouse and then to the kids. Well, if something happens to both of you, the kids, until they're 18 years old, they cannot receive anything. And so all that money would get locked in the court, and you would have to have a guardian appointed over those funds, which may or may not be the person that you wanted, especially if you don't have any estate planning done.
Right, that's the Uncle Tommy guy.
And then they would get everything at the age of 18. Whatever's left over after annual reportings and accountings and after that eats at it.
Could that relative have used up their money?
It is not a situation that you really want to put the kids in, So everybody needs an estate plan, but especially with kids, because one, you want to help control how are they going to receive things. More importantly, you want to control as much as you can. Who's going to take care of them?
Right.
Who's going to raise them? How are they going to raise them? And with kids in particular, the person who is good to raise them at 7 years old is not necessarily the person who should be raising them at 16.
Sorry, I'm laughing because you said you don't know who's taking care of your kids. I have a brother, and it made me think of I'm not going to say which one, but if my kids got left with him, he'd probably feed them bread and butter. He wouldn't give them bread and butter.
He knows who it is.
You know what I'm talking about. Oh my God. I just thought about that.
He would feed them bread and butter.
Eat that bread and butter.
You better eat it. And then just look at him.
So, he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do that every meal, but every now and again, he might be like, hey,
I bought all that food for you.
that's all you get is some bread and butter. Sorry. It just made me think about that when you said you don't know who's going to get your kid. So that's true.
Oh, yeah,
right? Because, that person could be in close vicinity and there's someone
and
that
they're going to give it to them.
Yeah, and they could.
Or they look good on paper, and it's that one sibling you're like, never in a million years would I want them raising my kids.
Right. And then you have to roll over in your grave, and then by then, nothing you can do. Nothing you can do.
Or right now, or for example, maybe parents are a good option when they're really little. Your parents, so their grandparents.
Right, but then when they get older.
Should the grandparent, if a grandparent is going to be in their 80s, should be raising a 16-year-old? That's a whole other consideration. So if you're looking at this every 3 years, well, you can change who's in charge, who's making those decisions. Right. You can say, okay, now that the kids are 15, we should have a different guardian at this point. Mom and dad got a lot older. They're not really able to take care of them. So, that's why it's important to keep looking at it.
So, okay. So when people get so we talked a little bit about the Cinderella, but when people get remarried, because a lot of times, the kids, there might be older adult kids and the person marries this younger person and they get mad. And, how does that usually play out?
Well, I think in general, having those, it always works out better when you've got some clarity. So when you've got clarity about what wishes are and you've got a clear understanding, everybody's pretty much on the same page about this is the way it's going to go. This is what I want. That will help. That will help and the estate plan in particular would be really important in blended family situations. So that you can reduce the risk of conflict. So you're not putting them in a position where they're all co-owners of a house and they have to deal with each other and figure out, okay, well, what are we going to do about the house?
Wait, so who is the co-owners? That person dies.
Spouse, that's that stepmom or, whoever it is.
Yeah, but so what if that stepmom decides to sell the house? So then she gets all the money, wouldn't she?
No, she wouldn't. She would only get the value of her life estate, which is measured with actuarial tables and
okay. So if she did sell, they would get something.
She would get something.
But if she wants to stay there, she could hold out and they get nothing until she croaks.
Right. Now she could elect, if she takes this election in time, she could elect to become a true half owner of the property with
all of the
That's
children
if she
from the prior
means
relationship.
well to the kid, for the kids.
That just means that if she wants to like be able to sell and get out and not be locked into that life estate situation, she can make an election and she can force a sale of the property or be bought out by the family members, and she would get half. So there's an election there. But a lot of people don't know that they need to do that within like 6 months of the person's passing because they just don't know.
Right.
And it also depends on how things are titled. So there's a whole lot
that's
goes
why you
into
need
it.
some help, because you just don't know how it's going to pan out unless you have the right support.
Exactly.
to
In your
carry through.
particular circumstances. Like, it's one thing to think, oh, well, yeah, it normally goes with surviving spouse. Well, what if there's children of a prior relationship? Or what if it's this? Or what if it's that? So the best thing to do is to figure out, well, what would happen to me in my situation? And that's why, that's why DIY wills are just a recipe for disaster.
Oh, so don't get the Susie Orman packet, I guess.
Or
She got to survive like a kit you can get.
We were gonna do one.
Or the legal Zoom.
We
We bought one and we just never did it. So we finally was like,
those come across my desk all the time, and they are always more expensive to fix on the back end than if they had done something.
They advertise it as something that's good, which it is, but then somebody that knows the law.
well, the law is too complicated for that little basic paperwork. That's what that goes back to. So so my kids, how do I know who to pick? Like, how do I know who's the best person to watch my kids or to keep my kids, if something happens?
Well, I think some of the things that go into that are, one, you can decide who's going to be in charge of finances and who's going to be in charge of raising the kids, right? They can be the same person. They don't have to be the same person. And so sometimes it actually makes it easier for parents to decide, okay, who would I want being a guardian of my children if some parents like, well, so-and-so would be amazing at raising the kids. I know they would turn them into good, loving human beings, but she's not great with money. In which case, well, if you're doing a trust, you can separate those duties, and you can have somebody who's good with money, but also has a good relationship with the kids and stuff, that they can work with the guardian of the kids.
Oh,
so you can get both if you want. You just have to think about those things in advance. But you want somebody who is familiar with the kids, who can, who's honestly, I think a good part of it is who's going to have the energy to raise them and to really invest in them and love them as if they were their own. So that is the most important thing. I think more than where they're located, where they live, are they close by? I mean, some of those considerations are important too. Like, is there going to be a disruption in school? Could they go to the same schools? Would they have to go to new schools? Would they have to go to a new city? Those are things to think about, but I think in the end, the person who's going to love them and cherish them the most and going to raise them according to your wishes is always going to be the right person.
Right. And then, like, how do you pass along like the values and stuff with that too, with whoever you're going to pick? Like,
yeah, finding a guardian who is really aligned with your values and what you would want to impart on them is hugely important. The next thing that you could do is to have things like, so for our clients who have minor children, we do include a kids protection package. So in the kids protection plan, we have nominations, but then we have the ability to put all of this down on paper. So we have information that, not just here's the medical information for my child, or, here's their allergies. You can go beyond that, and you can include things like, these are the kind of extracurriculars that I would want them to be in. These are the things that they love. These are the activities that they want to do. These are the things that I want to encourage. And so you can fill that out and keep that with your estate planning, so that you have at least a little bit of like a user's guide to your children that can help the next person. And we always offer a legacy interview to our clients, and I love when my clients take me up on that.
Yes, we did the legacy interview. It was kind of eerie because we're talking like to our kids and stuff, and to our family, we're croaked, but that was a little interesting. But I feel like that's a good thing. It's a way to, immortalize a little bit about yourself and what you want people to remember you by in a moment where they're not stricken with grief at your funeral or whatever, that they can still hear your voice, they can still see you if you do. We did the video, so I think that was a really great thing. I'd never heard of that before, so I think that was really great that you guys do that.
Yeah. We think it's important because it's an opportunity. So under the best case scenarios, you are going to be passing along these information, things about like your values, your experiences, things that are important that you would want them to know. You're passing that along all the time. But to have that in an interview where they can come back to it, and they can come back to it, a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and just have that is incredibly valuable to them. And, to know what you wanted for them, your values, your goals, things that you would have wanted them to know, I think is the stuff that makes us absolutely human. So that's the part that that's the most important thing that you pass on is those intangibles.
Right. Yeah, because I was like watching this show. It was like a Netflix show. I forgot what it's called, but it's about this girl. She's like in high school, and her dad dies, and every time she got the anxiety, she has this like. She actually stopped talking for I forgot what it's called. Her name's Davy. She's like it's like an Indian family on the show. Be quiet. But her dad died suddenly, and she like in the show she stopped talking for like a year and everything. But when she got better, she found this recording of her dad, and every time she would feel like this anxiety, she had that little recording. And when she thought her phone broke, she like went oh my, like she thought. Oh, it fell in the water? Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. It fell in the water. And she was like, oh, and she felt like she lost her dad all over again. Yes. So, I mean, that's why I felt like, because I watched that show recently and then you did the legacy interview thing, I was like, okay, that's a good thing. And I see where the benefits for sure.
Yeah, and you want it in a format that's not tied to a particular piece of technology, like your cell phone or like an answering machine or something where you want to hear the person's voice, and yes, we see each other like at birthday parties or, family events, Thanksgiving, Christmas. You take photos, but you're not always recording these kinds of important conversations. I mean, you're passing them along, but to have them in a format where you can kind of go back to it again and again as you get older and your perspective changes is, as a recipient is.
So can tremendous. I record, can I re-record in like 3 years in case my values totally change? And I tell my kids to suck it to the world because everyone sucks, if I decide to change my, because today was kindness. Be kind. But yes, right now I'm feeling so, maybe I want to tell the world, tell my kids to tell the world to suck it when you get older, do whatever the hell you want to do. But, 3 years from now or whenever that might be. So I could change that?
Absolutely. Okay. Gladly. We will. I am looking forward to it.
All right. Just wanted to check. So where can people find you? What kind of law? Because we didn't actually, you talked about you do the family law. I mean, what's it called?
Estate planning.
Estate planning,
and probate.
Sorry. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and probate. So what other, I know you've helped me with some real estate stuff, and I had questions, and you saved my butt. And I really appreciated that when you helped me out. What other stuff do you guys you specialize in?
Yeah, so I focus I have a very strong real estate background as well. The work that I love to do the most is the estate planning and the probate, but for my clients I will offer real estate advice and real estate services and that as well. My sister does all Social Security disability work, and so an area that I'm planning on adding, because I think it just makes perfect sense with what we do, is Medicaid planning. As well. And so, because
that's the thing?
It goes hand in hand with estate planning and probate, and the fact that we already do a lot of disability work and public benefits.
So that's all blend together for sure.
So that is something that we're going to add. But yeah, I mean, and we love the work that we do. And we love working with individuals and families and small businesses. When I was at that large law firm, I really enjoyed what I did. I did a lot of very high-level commercial litigation and bankruptcy and basically asset chasing, and I did a lot of courtroom work. I loved it. I was good at it, but I did not feel that my work truly mattered to people.
See, I'm telling you, man, that's what it is.
You can let her speak it because you interrupted her.
I'm sorry. I don't say anything.
So she wanted to make sure her work really mattered to people.
It's about... This life we live is about helping each other.
Yes.
It's not about just putting ourselves first. It's about us being together and truly helping each other to live together in this, like you said,
Yes.
this small little period we have in time, because time is very big. We have a small period to help each other and to
Yes.
improve the lives of each other. That's what it's really about. So when you have this job in a big corporation, you're working, one day you're like, what the hell am I doing? And I think that's what a lot of us realize as we get older. When you talk to a lot of young people, they don't see that. But as you get older and the wisdom sets in, you're like, man, what am I doing?
Yeah, there's only so many TPS reports you can fill out, before you start to really think, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Why am I doing
Yes.
this? What do I really want to be doing?
Yes.
Because and that's what I love about the work that I do. Honestly, like people are like, well, isn't it weird talking about death
but
or
you're
like
helping.
dealing with death? I'm like, you're helping people.
Yeah.
You're giving them peace of mind. You're protecting their families, and you're reminding them you need to go out and do things and enjoy things and just take advantage of that little slice of this time-space continuum that we have to do everything that you can, and just squeeze it all in there.
So what have you squeezed in so far?
Okay. Well,
So she's
let's-
telling us to go squeeze. Let's see what she's
Go through the
squeezed.
highlights.
What kind of juice she's gotten out of that squeeze?
I have gone. I had an SCCA license, so I have raced cars before. I've gone to racing school.
What?
I have gone to racing school, so I did have an SCCA license for a while. I have drag raced many a time on the drag strip. So
See that?
SCCA license. I've gone skydiving,
I haven't done that.
Hold on.
10,000 feet.
When you did that, what was going through your mind before you jumped out of that plane?
Don't do it.
I was like, well, this seemed like a really good idea when I was on the ground. I was like, okay.
You can't return once you go like
And I'm like, no, we're up here. We're committed now.
God.
But I mean, so I was strapped to an instructor.
Oh, okay.
So
Right, you
I
can't
was-
jump
it
by
was
yourself
not
the
a
first
solo.
time,
though.
Right.
Yeah.
It was not a solo. So I really wasn't that worried about it. I said, okay.
Well, they don't
if
wanna
I
die
go,
either,
it's
so,
going to be quick.
yeah.
So.
Every time we both going together.
Right.
Exactly. So I'm like, we're going to be fine. And I did that in the Florida Keys, and it was gorgeous because you're up
Oh,
at
yeah, you see the
10,000
blue
feet,
water.
and all you
can
see
see
is
everything.
blue water,
Oh,
you see
wow.
green. It was phenomenal.
Nice.
And then on the way down, all you hear is just
Nothing.
silence.
Yeah, that's
nothing.
Remember when I was parasailing and I was going up in the
I didn't like that.
we went parasailing years ago. We went up, and after a while you don't hear anything.
So what else have you done? Give me a couple more.
Let's
Then I'll
see.
stop harassing you for how you've lived your life.
Let's see.
You don't need to do anything. She's already done it. Skydiving, racing.
But how fast did you drive when you raced?
Well, I think so. That is like an SCCA track, so it's not like ovals. It's more like a very curvy track,
Oh,
sometimes
so
with
you
hairpins.
okay.
So you're going real fast, and then you're
Then you
just
gotta
hitting the
hit-
brakes, and
oh,
then you're
okay.
just. So you're doing all of those things, and so sometimes you're flying around turns, and so it was phenomenal. We went to Bob Bondurant Racing School out near Phoenix, Arizona, and
Did you have a
was-
lead foot?
do I have a lead foot? There may have been some questions that were raised during my character and fitness interview for the bar about the number of speeding tickets I had.
Oh man.
I did have to mention that was all youthful indiscretions, and I have
Yeah, the fact that
reformed.
because I'm like that. I've always wanted to race cars.
Yeah.
Like
Her face when you
I
mentioned that, she was
really
like,
have.
smile all the time.
I drive like it's a strategy. Like I am like when I'm driving, I drive fast,
She
but
stares at kids to
I
death.
am
That's what she does when she drives.
I am analyzing the road. And I enjoy that. Like it's exhilarating for
It
me
is.
to do that,
It
and
is.
especially when I can get it like a good 85 miles, 90 miles an hour, and I'm doing that, and I'm like, man, but I'm just too afraid of like crashing and dying.
Well, track is always the best place to do it. Drag strip is fun too. If you just want to go straight, just real fast in a straight line,
I've never
that is
tried
fun
that.
too.
Okay.
You should try
Oh,
it.
I should
It
try
is
it.
great.
That might make me feel good too. Okay.
It is fun.
A straight line, yeah, that's action.
All right. I'll do
Yeah,
that. Okay.
and so we're renovating, restoring a 1970 Chevelle SS that is going to have a 454.
No, Ian's all like,
454 big.
454 big block. It's
You know
we're
what that sounds like?
I have no idea.
God.
it's gonna be nuts.
Getting hot.
all right.
That's awesome.
Well, we won't keep holding you up. I know you've shared a lot of information with us, and we appreciate your
This has
time.
been a very good.
And thank you. He has
been a
like no,
blast.
he has no filter. You have like no podcast filter
There's no
sometimes.
such thing as a podcast filter.
There
I didn't say anything
is.
wrong. I didn't say a damn thing wrong right
You didn't
now.
say anything wrong, but you just talk.
Karina, you see what Natalie puts me through every time I do a damn podcast? I can't say nothing without her interjecting herself. I didn't say anything wrong.
Okay, all right.
The best podcasts have no filters. Okay.
You're gonna talk. We're not doing anything wrong.
All right. Well, where can people find you, Karina, if they want to talk to you more about your services? And
Absolutely. So we are here we operate in Indiana and in Florida, but I am here primarily in the Florida office. I'm in Orlando. So my office is here near UCF, and you can reach us. We're on social media under DLT Law Office. So you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
DLT Law Office. That's what you would Google.
Yep,
DLT
Law Office. We're at dltlawoffice.com, and we are here to serve, and just really looking forward to just continuing to do this, and just reminding people, carpe diem, go out there and maximize that time that you got. Don't waste a second.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad. I appreciate that, and we're glad that you are exemplifying that by what you do in your life. So that's pretty cool. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Can I talk now?
No, but you can take the show out.
Well, welcome. Thank you, everybody, for this show. If you want to listen to the podcast and all the streaming forum, join us on Spreaker, Google Podcasts, iTunes, CastBox, or all the streaming platforms. Join us, like and subscribe, please.
And share and tell your friends.
Family
Yes,
Mess.
yes. Thanks, everybody, and God bless.
Oh!